yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. No pain for their disease. Rage is like a weed.
I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I am telling you, it is nearly 60 degrees. I can't even believe that I'm saying that. It is nearly 60 degrees here in New Jersey. On December 16th, it is absolutely fucking ridiculous. But regardless of that, you already know what time it is. You already know that it's time to get down to the nitty gritty, the down and the dirty, and that could only mean that it's Saturday. You know what that means. We're live. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the greatest fucking show on earth as we are streaming live on 4 different platforms across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different accounts. And it is certainly a history-making moment as for the first time ever, I am streaming live on Rumble, rumble.com. So if you're watching me on Rumble, give me a holler. Share the stream out on Rumble as well, because Rumble, it's going to be an all-new alternative to gain some more eyes. The expansion of the DJ Storms brand continues as we head into 2024. And as, of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy and the operator of the best damn X, formerly known as Twitter, handle, Stop what you're doing. Stop what you are doing. I see we got the final host, we got Dylan, and we got Raging Girl Gamer in the chat. I need you all to stop what you are doing, and I just need you to take a big inhale. I want you to feel the air as it goes through your nostrils, and I want you to go, oh. You can do it again. And you got to do it again. You have to do it more than once because you got to feel that energy, that oh so glorious smell. You got to go, oh, one more time. Just one more. I want to see you do it. I want you to do it. I want you to feel the energy as you go, oh, shit. Do you smell that? Oh my God. Do you know what that is? You know what that is? That is a very particular scent. Oh my God. You know what that is? That is the smell of pure fucking excellence. And my God, there is no other smell like it. Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind, baby. And this is the official Lightning Flash update for Saturday, December 16th, 2023. I got to roll up my sleeves because we're getting down and dirty. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank each and every single one of you for tuning on into the stream. And I see Raging Girl Gamer. She's chilling, playing zombies. You see, you don't want to associate yourself with the mindless zombies. You want to associate yourself with an intellectual savior like me, DJ Shizzle Dizzle. But I hope everyone is doing very, very well. We have plenty to talk about. Certainly a newsworthy week in the world of professional wrestling. TNA, they've made a couple of signings. We got an official AEW revenue report from WrestleNomics. Elimination Chamber and Revolution, they are both selling tickets very, very well. An NXT superstar was backstage on Monday Night Raw this past Monday. And Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, their contracts will be coming up in the first month of summer 2024 in June. Could we see Tyler Black and Rebecca Quinn on the independent scene? Could we see them in a world outside of the WWE? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see, and we're going to discuss the possibility of it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend as Christmas draws nearer and nearer. And as we head into 2024, we only have a handful of streams left in 2023. I can't even believe that it's going to be 2024. I'm still trying to process the fact that it's 2023. Absolutely unbelievable. But I'm looking forward to 2024. I'm looking forward to the new opportunities that present themselves in 2024. And it is going to be great. It's going to be great. And I'm looking forward to an all new sense of life, a new lease on life, in a sense, in 2024. It's always good to have that fresh start. But I hope you guys are ready for a great stream. As per usual here, we always have great streams on the DJ Storms channel. First off, if you guys have not already done so, I want you to go out of your way to follow me on social media. You can follow me on X, and you can also follow me on Instagram at HistoryMakerDJS. One more time, that is at HistoryMakerDJS, both on X and Instagram. You can also add me on my personal Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Please make sure that you like the official DJ Storms business page, which we are live on right now. And I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all of those links are in the description, as well as the link to my Rumble account. We are live on Rumble for the very first time ever. So if you guys have not gone and subscribed to my channel on Rumble, go and subscribe to the Rumble channel. We are looking to take over Rumble quicker than anyone has ever taken over. We already got a bunch of pre-recorded videos on there, including a Christmas cover, a couple of ISPW vlogs, and some JV Thunder drum covers. And we're going to be doing a lot more JV Thunder drum covers in 2024. He's getting set for his return after he had to take a little bit of a hiatus. Listen, he's got a life outside of YouTube, just like I got a life outside of YouTube. And to this day, I still do not have an answer for Hoolagrim's question, because Hoolagrim, after we stopped talking on Thursday, after we went off the air, after the rundown for Final Battle ended on Thursday, he asked me, dude, how do you do all this? How do you have a full-time job? How do you watch wrestling? How do you maintain a life outside of professional wrestling and your job? And I answered him with 3 simple words. I don't know. I don't even know how I do some of the shit that I do. It's unbelievable. But regardless, go check out all those links in the description. It is incredibly vital that you do so. Speaking of Hoolagrim will be back on my channel for the final time in 2023 tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. for the rewind for Ring of Honor Final Battle. We got ourselves a great professional wrestling show last Friday on Ring of Honor's side of the fence. A bit too long, but we still got some great pro wrestling regardless. A new champion was crowned. We had a fight to honor Jay Briscoe. The women main evented the show. Me and Hoolagrim were going to discuss what was a very, very, very good professional wrestling show. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And Hula Grim will be back in 2024. Hula Grim, he is becoming quite the regular here on the DJ Storms brand. And he's also a member of Hardcore Sports. Who would have thought? Who would have thought 1 year ago when I asked Hula Grim to come on the Rewind for Final Battle 2022, who knew that that would lead to even more opportunities? You got to love it. You got to love it. On top of that, please make sure if you have not already done so, hit the like button. Whether you're watching on Rumble, whether you're watching on X, whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching on Facebook, hit the like button. It is incredibly vital that you do so. Hit the like button and share it out on all platforms of social media, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, whatever social media platforms that you use. Again, incredibly vital that you do so because everyone needs a dose of DJ Shizzle Dizzle because it is a known fact that I make people's lives better. That's just how it goes. I always make people's lives better. When I come into your life automatically becomes 10 times better, 20 times better, 30 times better. I just have that effect on people. If you ain't living a life with DJ Storms in it, then are you really living? The answer is no. On top of that, you got to make sure if you're watching on my YouTube channel, on the Hardcore Sports YouTube channel, or the Hardcore Sports X, or the Hardcore Sports whatever. I think we're going to be streaming on the Hardcore Sports Instagram page sooner rather than later. And I think I may just start streaming on my Instagram page as well. Regardless, please make sure, people, that you are subscribed to my channel, the Hardcore Sports channel, and my Rumble. So that way I can gain viewers, I can gain followers, I can gain likes, I can gain watch hours, I can continue to gain attention and traction because that is the end goal here. We're over 2,200 subscribers on my YouTube channel. We're nearly at 1,000 subscribers on the Hardcore Sports. And we just started out in Rumble, and we're already one follower away from 10. I understand it's going to be a little while before I can really pick up steam over at Rumble. But people, if you guys have not created a Rumble, go create a Rumble. Go and follow my Rumble. Incredibly vital that you do so because hopefully I can start earning over there sooner rather than later. Wink, wink. And on top of that, if you are subscribed to my YouTube channel or the Hardcore Sports YouTube channel, you better hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. You better do it because if you do, that way you're going to know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, oh, baby, it is the best time to be on YouTube because it is the only time that you are going to get to see this so glorious sideburn shin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. Hold on, it's in here somewhere. I got to bring it out because you already know what time it is. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This beautifully crafted magical ace black comb. I got to blow on it and I got to go. Wow! It is sizzling. So sizzling and hot. I got to blow on it. And we're going to light it up right here on the LFU. For the very first time ever on Rumble, we're going to light it up with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of because like hot, fresh, non-bread pizza, got to get the sauce in there and the meatball and the pork and the sausage and the cheese. You got to put some garlic salt, sprinkle a little garlic salt on it, toast it up nice and crispy. Make sure that non-bread has a nice crunch to it. I am just so good. I am sizzling. I am tasty. I'm succulent. The tastiest snack in the entire IWC. Everyone wants a piece of the Storms Meister. What's going on, Dylan Ketchum and Earl Cole Bay? Hope you both are doing very, very good. And we are going to get straight into the festivities here on the Lightning Flash update for today. Oh, before we do, shout out to Brittany K. Obviously, you know Brittany K. Wonderful woman, big support of the channel. She does beautifully crafted graphic designs and drawings of pro wrestlers from scratch on her iPad. Go check out her social medias. Her X is Brittany K5150, and her Instagram is Brittany K Designs. And then, of course, Corporate Information System, one of the best recruiting firms in America. If you guys are looking for a trusted recruiting partner to help advance your career or help you fulfill your hiring needs, go contact my friends over at Corporate Information System. Their website is www.cisrecruiters.com. Once again, www.cisrecruiters.com. Let's go into the news, rumors, and reports, shall we? TNA recently announced on their X account that they signed 2 sought-after free agents. They signed Kushida and Trent Seven. They are officially members of the TNA roster. And I don't have an issue with this at all. I think that TNA is a great place for both Kushida and Trent Seven. Trent Seven, if you guys don't already know, Trent Seven is a very underrated professional wrestler. Trent Seven and Tyler Bate were actually on the verge of having the NXT UK version of Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa, but they were stuck in the fucking BT Sports studio, and then NXT UK ultimately ended. NXT UK ultimately ended, and it never seen a resuscitation. I'm not sure if there's even plans for NXT Europe still. As we speak right now, it's just dead silent. It's dead silent as we speak. And you know what? I think that AEW going to Wembley, I think that that had a major effect in the stalling of NXT Europe. But either way, Trent Seven, he's very good at what he does, so I'm looking forward to seeing him prosper, even though I'm not going to watch TNA, because let's be honest here, a name change is merely a name change. It's all about the quality of what they put out. And even though they got a great roster, TNA is absolutely horrible when it comes to production, when it comes to storylines, when it comes to intrigue, when it comes to originality. TNA is just there, especially the crowd. I mean, people really want to get on Ring of Honor's case for only selling 2,000 tickets. Meanwhile, that's probably one of the biggest Ring of Honor crowds that they've ever had, number one. And then number two, you take a look at TNA Hard to Kill, they haven't even sold 700 tickets. But yet some people are trying to make TNA out to be some type of threat to being the second best promotion in the world, and AEW is going to slip into the number 3 position, all because they got a fucking Peacock deal. Whoop-de-fucking-do. TNA sucks. Kushida doesn't suck. Trent Seven doesn't suck. TNA sucks. But I do believe that they're going to have some great feuds and some great matches over in TNA, because at the end of the day, even though TNA is a horribly booked company, even though TNA has terrible storytelling, terrible production, they do have a great wrestling roster. Moving on here, Mike Johnson, he reported on AJ Styles' big return. He stated that his return was imminent, and Styles did indeed return last night on SmackDown. I saw some of the highlights. I have not gotten through SmackDown. I watched about half of SmackDown. I think I got about through half of Friday Night SmackDown before I needed to get my stuff, come over here, and do the stream. I watched all of Rampage, though. So we'll briefly talk about Rampage. But as far as AJ Styles goes and his return on SmackDown, first of all, AJ Styles looked fucking jacked. AJ Styles looked jacked as shit. Now, it seems as though AJ Styles is going to be a heel going forward. Because after Styles, Orton, and LA Knight, after they ran off the bloodline, AJ Styles, out of nowhere, clotheslined LA Knight. Now, I'm not sure what's going on there, but if we're going to get an LA Knight, AJ Styles feud going forward, I'm certainly not going to complain about that. I think that that's going to be a nice little interim feud before LA Knight inevitably gets to Logan Paul. Now, one thing I don't want to happen, I don't want this feud to deter LA Knight from getting the United States Championship from Logan Paul. That should be the U.S. title match at WrestleMania. No excuses. It's actually still pissing me off that LA Knight did not beat Austin Theory this year at SummerSlam. That should have happened. Rey Mysterio didn't need to win the title. Logan Paul didn't need to win the title. Triple H is taking a complex route with all of these different twists and turns, ultimately to get us to a result that we should have gotten to back in August. That's one thing I do not approve of. But either way, LA Knight and Logan Paul, that's how you make the United States Championship feel more important. That's how you give the U.S. title a major spotlight at WrestleMania. And that's how you make WrestleMania even bigger than it's already going to be with Punk and Rollins and then Cody and Roman. If anything, we could be looking at one of the best WrestleManias of all time if they play their cards right, with all of the matches that they have booked for the show. I'm telling you, it's going to be something. I'm going to keep my eye very, very closely on WrestleMania 40. But as far as Styles goes, Styles is a bit of a tough one to call. Because on one hand, we got a nice little feud developing between LA Knight and AJ Styles. But at the same point in time, if LA Knight gets past this, and we ultimately go with LA Knight winning the U.S. title from Logan Paul, where does AJ Styles end up? He's a heel now. Where is he ultimately going to fall? For the first time in a while, I can't really pinpoint where AJ Styles should be. AJ Styles just kind of feels like he's there. Styles just kind of feels like, oh, hey, AJ Styles is back and he's a heel now. It doesn't feel like there's any buzz around AJ Styles. And that just goes to show you how poorly AJ Styles has been booked following his run as the Intercontinental Champion. After the Intercontinental Championship run that Styles was on, and we had AJ Styles being paired with Omos, that tag team with Omos and whatever happened with Omos, it destroyed a lot of credibility that AJ Styles possessed. A lot of people are trying to say that, oh, AJ Styles is washed. Oh, we can't put on a good match anymore. I'm not sure what the fuck you're watching, but I'm chalking up AJ Styles and his demise in hype, his demise in buzz, to the poor booking that he received in 2021. 2021 was perhaps the worst that AJ Styles has looked in his entire career. And it's because of that horrific run with Omos as a tag team. I don't know what the fuck anyone was thinking there. I'm not sure why that was even a thought in someone's brain. I'm not sure who thought that that would have benefited anyone. Look at where Omos is. Omos is completely off of television because he sucks. And then AJ Styles, ever since that whole angle with Omos and the tag team title run, and when AJ Styles legit got squashed by Omos in 4 minutes on Raw, Styles has never been the same. Styles has never been the same. Styles, going into that feud with Edge in 2022, we got some decent matches, but no one really felt like AJ Styles was a credible threat standing next to Edge because of how badly the feud with Omos was and the tag team with Omos was. And then what happened afterwards? What happened afterwards? AJ Styles was just kind of just floated in a sea of nothing. He had a little feud with the Judgment Day, and then we had AJ Styles being drafted to SmackDown with the OC. He had his match with Rollins. He went into a little mini feud with Cross that didn't go anywhere. The feud with Cross over the summer was probably one of the most forgettable things about WWE TV. I don't even know why the fuck Cross and Styles were feuding all summer. If anyone can tell me why, please say so in the chat. But AJ Styles, there's just no buzz around him. There's just no hype around him. And I'm not one to tell anyone what they should be doing with their lives, because ultimately, Styles is an adult. He's going to make his own decision. But man, if there is one guy that I would really love to see get out of the WWE, if there's one guy that I wish would have a change of scenery, it's AJ Styles. If there's one guy that I would love to see in All Elite Wrestling, if WWE got Punk and Jade Cargill, then AEW, they're getting Adam Copeland. I hope that they get AJ Styles too. I'm not sure when his contract expires. I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm not sure if he's re-signed or not. But AJ Styles, he is definitely a guy that I would love to see in All Elite Wrestling within the next year or two. There's really nothing left for him to do in the WWE. And WWE, I really don't want to say they've run the well dry, but they've kind of run the well dry. Styles in AEW could present a whole new world of possibilities. I mean, you just think about it. Maybe we see Styles and the Young Bucks back together, and they could go on a monstrous heel run. That would probably be the best route for Styles and the Bucks as a whole. That's just me. That's just me, of course. But Styles is back. I'm not sure where this feud with LA Knight is going, and I truthfully don't know what he's going to do afterwards. Styles right now is a big question mark. To answer your question, Dylan, no, Styles has not won a Royal Rumble, but he's certainly not winning this year's Royal Rumble. It's either Gunther or Punk that's winning the Royal Rumble. Speaking of Punk, again, I don't give a fuck about any part of the business. I'm not a part of the business. If I am a part of the business, I don't think I would give a shit about this. But according to PW Insider, the night that CM Punk returned to the WWE, his merchandise sales were in the 6 figures. I mean, rightfully so. Rightfully so. CM Punk, he came back. It was probably one of the best moments in Survivor Series history, and he gained a lot of merch sales. Another thing I don't give a fuck about is ticket sales. I don't give a fuck about ticket sales. Ticket sales do not matter. The only thing that matters is you put on a good show, and that's it. But I'm very, very happy that Elimination Chamber in Perth, Australia is selling well. According to PW Insider, the event already has 45,000 plus tickets sold, and the WWE will be sending talent down there shortly to do promotional work to help push the show. I don't mind that at all, and it's actually something that I wish AEW would do more often. I even talked about this last week. AEW, even though they put on great shows, their promotional skills are absolutely fucking terrible. They need to focus on really driving home that sense of promotion. Flyers and promotional teams and newspaper ads, not just tweets and posts on Facebook and Twitter. You need to have media appearances by the big AEW stars. Tony Khan needs to go down there, help promote the shows, whether they be a weekly show as measly as a Ring of Honor TV taping or a Collision. Tony Khan needs to go down there, promote these shows heavily, even if they are mere weekly shows. He needs to develop promotional teams to send out to all of these different markets, and that is something that I really hope he implements in 2024. But hey, Elimination Chamber is selling well. You know what? It's going to be a fun crowd. It's going to be a fun crowd, and I look forward to it. PW Insider again. PW Insider again. Von Wagner, according to PW Insider, was actually backstage at Raw this past Monday. I'm not really sure what that means. Some people were claiming that he could potentially be in line to be called up for the United States Championship tournament. That was proven to be false, and Carmelo Hayes took the place of the NXT superstar, which I was very pleased with. And Carmelo Hayes, I mean, he's more than ready for the main roster. Carmelo Hayes is more than ready for the main roster, and Carmelo Hayes, perfect for SmackDown. SmackDown's got a lot of youth, and I really do hope that they really implement that youth throughout the show. They got Grayson Waller, they got Cameron Grimes, they got Dragon Lee, they got Carmelo Hayes, they got Austin Theory in there. They got a lot of new stars on there. That mid-card scene for the United States Championship, very, very, very good stuff. And even though we got some people on the older side, like Cross or Escobar or Knight, they are still very, very valuable, and they are stars that WWE should be building the show around because they're new and fresh faces. That's the one thing, that's one thing I hope WWE does going forward. When we finally get in the midst of Triple H as the head of creative, I'm talking about when we get 2 years deep, 3 years deep, 4 years deep, I genuinely hope that they put an even greater focus on the youth of WWE, because those are the people that are going to take the company into the future. But as far as Von Wagner goes, I don't really understand why Von Wagner would even be a thought to be called up. Von Wagner certainly is not ready. Von Wagner should spend at least another year or two down there in NXT. Von Wagner doesn't really feel like he's broken through to that next level. He's good at what he does. He's a guy that can put on a good wrestling match when you want him to, but I just don't get the vibe that he is ready for the main roster yet. You could just sense a vibe when someone is ready. Von Wagner, he's not ready. He's just not. I like Von Wagner. I think he's got potential, but at this moment, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's ready. He's not. Now, we got ourselves a report regarding AEW. According to WrestleNomics, they estimated that AEW will reach about $154 million in revenue by the end of the year. And while it's still unlikely that profitability will be a thing for the company, a doubling in TV rights could be enough to make AEW's business sustainable. I really do find it funny how people want to scream to the high heavens that AEW is dead or it's dying and they're going to be out of business and they're not going to get a TV rights deal renewed. Let me tell you something. Regarding CM Punk, CM Punk could very well be the reason why we see WWE on Warner Brothers Discovery. Now, it is not confirmed. It's not confirmed whether or not we could see Warner Brothers keep AEW and bring on WWE Raw at the same time. I'm not sure what their thought pattern is. But the fact that they are increasing in revenue, regardless of profitability, that should go to show you that they are a very, very successful company. Tony Khan even said that they're going to be in the red for the first 5 to 6 years of their existence. It's going to take a while before AEW actually turns a good profit. But just because they're not turning a profit doesn't mean that they're a dying company. You need to stop listening to these fucking retards like Eric Bischoff and Disco Inferno and Conan and fucking Jim Cornette. All these fucking dinosaurs, these mindless inbreds. These guys are not worth your time. They are not worth the oxygen that we breathe. They are not worthy to walk the same ground that people like me walk on. These people live. These people fucking live to spew utter stupidity. These people live to profit off of the weak minds of people that are dumb enough to actually take what they say seriously. Eric Bischoff is a fucking carny. Eric Bischoff don't know jack shit. If Eric Bischoff did know shit, then WCW would still be around. I'm sorry to tell you, but Eric Bischoff is a fucking failure. At the end of the day, it's time that people stop listening to people like that, start listening to people like me. But of course, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen because in this day and age, and it's a very, very sad reality that we live in this day and age, the people of the world, they gravitate towards retardation. The people of the world gravitate towards flat out utter retardation. And when it comes to actual quality, when it comes to actual shit that's good, when it comes to intelligent shit, when it comes to material that has intellectual value to it, like yours truly, that shit gets pushed to the side. I mean, just look at TikTok. Just look at TikTok. 99% of the shit that you see on TikTok is absolute idiocy. 99% of the shit that you see on TikTok is absolute idiocy. Outside of Earl Cole and all the people in this chat and the people of the DJ Storms posse, which is a very, very small percentage of the world, 0.0001, not everyone can be as intelligent as we are. Outside of these people that are watching me, the majority of people in the world are not smart enough to support someone as good as I am or as good as Earl Cole is. They look to gravitate towards stupidity like a Jim Cornette, like an Eric Bischoff. And for all these people saying, oh, AEW's in danger. AEW's in danger because WWE CM Punk could very well be the cause of WWE Raw ending up on Warner Brothers Discovery. It's all I fucking hear. It's all I fucking hear from these ignorant pieces of shit on social media. Let me ask you a question, please. Let me ask you a question. CM Punk, he could very well be the reason that Raw ends up on Warner Brothers Discovery. We could very well see AEW and WWE under one roof. We could very well see Warner Brothers Discovery go with AEW over WWE, or we could see WWE go onto Warner Bros. Discovery, and Tony Khan is going to have to find a new network. Let me ask you this. People that are trying to claim that it's AEW's doomsday if Raw goes on Warner Bros. Discovery, are you trying to fucking tell me? Are you for fucking real? Are you dead serious when you're trying to tell me? Are you implying that if Warner Bros. Discovery doesn't renew AEW, that they won't be able to find another network to put their shows on? I really don't understand these people. I honest to God don't understand how people could be this fucking stupid. Are you telling me that if Warner Brothers Discovery does not renew AEW, you're telling me that there is absolutely fucking no one, there's no brand, there's no network that would even entertain the idea of putting AEW on their network? There's no show, there's no cable network whatsoever that would entertain putting AEW as a show on their network. My God, the level of retardation in the IWC, this is probably the most retarded I have ever seen the IWC in the history of being a member of it. In my 15 years plus of being a professional wrestling fan, this is probably the dumbest I've ever seen the IWC act. It is absolutely unbelievable. And it, honest to God, makes what Tony Khan said on the Final Battle media scrum legit. Because no matter what they do, there's always going to be some form of negativity. And he just stopped listening to it. If AEW does not get renewed by Warner Brothers Discovery, there is absolutely going to be more than one network that is going to want to have AEW on their network. There's absolutely going to be a network or a brand that's going to want to bring AEW on. Doesn't matter who it is. There's actually a report going around that FX could very well be in the running of getting AEW if they don't renew with Warner Brothers. I am not fazed by this. I'm not fazed by it, and neither should you be. Speaking of not being fazed, Liv Morgan certainly didn't look fazed. Liv Morgan was actually arrested. Liv Morgan was arrested this past weekend over in Sumter County, Florida. Now, Liv Morgan, apparently, she was arrested for the possession of marijuana, not more than 20 grams, and the possession of drugs, possibly a synthetic cannabinoid. And apparently this synthetic cannabinoid, was a vape pen. And one story making the way in the WWE is that the vape pen, which allegedly contained a synthetic substance that Liv Morgan was charged with possession of, it actually belonged to someone else, but it had been left in her Jeep. Now, I'm not really sure who she knows that would have left something like that in her Jeep. But as far as this report goes, I know that marijuana is actually legal in some states. Now, I don't use it. I think that it's nothing more than a fucking crutch. Unless it's medically prescribed, I really don't understand the reason why anyone should be trying to get high on marijuana. If anything, I actually see it as a very, very lame way to escape your reality. I actually see it as nothing more than something that's holding you back. That's why I'm grateful I never got into that shit. But look, half of the states have legalized it. At the end of the day, people are going to do what they want. It's their lives. However, regardless of where you are, regardless of what your lifestyle may be, you need to respect the laws of the state that you're in. And it's not legal in Florida. Then you know what? Shouldn't be in possession of it. I know a lot of people tend to fly under the radar with it, but in the end, if you are in a place, you're going to have to abide by the rules of that place. whether it be a building, whether it be if you're working for a job, whether it be the state, whether it be the country, whatever it may be. Got to abide by the fucking laws. She didn't abide by the fucking laws, so she got arrested. However, I don't think that this is going to be a big deal at all. I don't see this being a big deal at all, especially with how WWE is. WWE has gotten very, very laxed, especially considering that Liv Morgan is very well liked backstage. Liv Morgan is very well liked backstage, and apparently I heard that they do indeed have a plan for her. They do indeed have a plan for her set in place for WrestleMania 40 at some point within the next year. So if they have a plan already set in place and WrestleMania 40 is legitimately 4 months away, we'll probably end up seeing her return at the Royal Rumble, and we could see those plans start to go into place. I don't think that this is going to be a big deal whatsoever. Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair, according to PW Insider, returned to her home in Florida, and a source within WWE indicated that Flair is not expected to return until she is completely evaluated medically. And apparently, she looks to have been evaluated medically because we saw a report and we saw the commentators announce last Friday on SmackDown that she's going to be out for 9 months because of the injury. I tend to shit on Charlotte Flair all the time, rightfully so. But in the end, she is a human being, and no human being deserves to be injured. So I do wish Charlotte Flair a very, very speedy recovery. But I'm going to tell you this, and I don't mean this in any disrespectful way. Charlotte Flair is injured. I wish her the best, and I hope that she comes back as quickly as possible. I hope she comes back 100% healthy. WrestleMania season does not need Charlotte Flair. I'm actually very, very happy that Charlotte Flair is not going to be on WrestleMania. Because Charlotte Flair, as we speak, Charlotte Flair is one of those individuals that has actually held back a lot of individuals in the realm of the WWE. Every single time that Charlotte Flair is on TV, she's always in a position in which someone else deserves it more than she does. She's always in a position where she is the top female. She's always in a position where she is number one in the entire wrestling world. She's always in a position where she's either fighting for a championship, she's main eventing pay-per-views. She tends to always float around the main event scene in the women's division, and it's honest to God fucking exhausting. So the fact that she's not going to be at WrestleMania, this actually opens up the door for new people to gain new opportunities. And I genuinely hope that we do see WWE invest heavily in some new women. I really do hope that we see some new women on Raw and on SmackDown step up. Because there's a lot of talented women on Raw and SmackDown that have yet to get the opportunities that Charlotte Flair has gotten. I really hope that Kairi Sane steps up. I hope that we see a Dakota Kai step up when she's back from injury. I hope that we see a Mia Yim step up. I hope that we see a Candice LeRae step up, a Tegan Nox step up. Those are the types of people that you should be heavily investing in when it comes to the women's division. Because they are going to lead that division into the future. One of the reasons why women's wrestling is not taken seriously in WWE is because WWE, all they do is push the same fucking people over and over and over again. Again, I don't want to compare and I don't want to use AEW as an example, but you go take a look at AEW side of the spectrum and you take a look at the women's division over there. Look at all the opportunities that different women over there are getting. You take a look at a Sky Blue, you take a look at a Willow Nightingale. Do you think that Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale would have gotten the same opportunities that they've gotten over in AEW and WWE? Of course not. A Billy Stark, same thing. Julia Hart, Chris Statlander. All of those women that are not at the top of the card, like a Toni Storm, like a Saraya, like a Hikaru Shida, like a Jamie Hayter or a Britt Baker. All of those women underneath the main event stars in the women's division, they are all getting opportunities to showcase what they can do. I mean, look at what Billy Starks and Athena did last night at Final Battle. That was a very good match. The women on Tony Khan's side of the spectrum are actually getting more opportunities than the women on WWE's side of the spectrum. Look at Athena. How is it that WWE, they fucking passed on Athena, and now look at her, #1 female in the industry. Fuck Rhea Ripley. Athena main evented 2 back-to-back Ring of Honor pay-per-views. But Charlotte Flair being out, again, I wish her the best. No ill will, and I genuinely hope that she comes back better than ever. But I'm certainly not going to be missing Charlotte Flair when WrestleMania rolls around. And I really hope that WWE puts some genuine effort, some real, genuine effort into the women's division. Now that Charlotte's not there, there's going to be a lot of different opportunities for a lot of different women. It's all going to depend on WWE. It's all going to depend on WWE and if they really want to invest in giving these women the opportunities that they have yet to receive. Hooligan, to answer your question, yes, I will. I will be sending you the link tomorrow. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. It is going to be the rewind for Final Battle. Plenty of good material to discuss. I hope to see all of you there. We're live on Rumble right now as well. So if you guys haven't created a Rumble account, you better fucking create a Rumble account and go and follow my Rumble channel because we are going to be gaining big traction over there sooner rather than later. Yes, Hooligan, I legit said Sunday. I said Sunday. Today's the LFU. I know it is only Saturday. Yesterday was Friday, bruh. Yesterday was Friday. Anyway. Moving on here. I got a report regarding Kenny Omega, and if you guys saw the report on Twitter, Kenny Omega will be out indefinitely. He tweeted a picture of himself in a hospital bed, and it was revealed that he's got diverticulitis. And diverticulitis ain't no fucking joke. That shit is nasty. Diverticulitis almost took out Brock Lesnar permanently. So I am wishing Kenny Omega the best. And that sucks because I was actually really looking forward to the tag team match at World's End. I was really looking forward to that tag team match with the Golden Jets and Ricky Starks and Big Bill at World's End. Now, what do you do? What do you do now that Kenny Omega's out? For me, it's pretty simple. I didn't see the Golden Jets winning anyway, nor should they have. The Golden Jets were not going to win the tag team titles. The whole reason why the Golden Jets were put together was because they were feuding with the Don Callis family, and now that they got the tag team title match, they were ultimately going to lose. Ricky Starks and Big Bill, they're doing just fine as the tag team champions. Whoever is the tag team champions, they should be taking them into 2024. Ricky Starks and Big Bill should end the year as tag team champions, and then they should begin 2024 with the tag team championships. And Earl Cole, I will be going live on the 28th with the rundown for World's End. I apologize, Earl Cole. I will not be making the show, but I know that Hooligan is going to fill in quite nicely. I know that Hooligan is going to bring a great analytical sense to the show. He's going to bring some great takes. I hope to see you guys in the chat on December 30th, because on December 30th, I'm actually going live from the Rockaway Mall with the Masters of Your Memories stream. We're going to be live from the Masters of Your Memories con. I'm going to see if I can get a little cameo with RVD. I'm going to see if I can get a little cameo with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, as well. I'm going to see if I can... I may do a little interview with them. Or I may get them on my show. We'll see what happens. But I will be live then, and I'll be doing my top 10 matches of 2023 list. So you guys are going to want to tune into that LFU on December 30th. But Kenny Omega, he's out. Kenny Omega's out. Very, very bad timing. I wish him the speediest of recoveries. What do we do now? Starks and Big Bill, they were going to retain anyway. They should be taking those titles into 2024. And the guys that should take it off of them, I would either like to see the House of Black win the tag team titles, or I would love to see the Don Callis family. One of those two. I think either way, Starks and Big Bill should be taking those tag team titles into 2024. And I would actually have him hold it all the way to Revolution. Do what you're doing there and continue doing what you're doing with them. Continue building them up as a credible threat. They already got a victory over the Blackpool Combat Club. They already got a victory in that great ladder match at Full Gear. Keep the momentum going. But what do you do now at World's End? To me, it's pretty simple. I would just swap out Kenny Omega for Kota Ibushi. Have Chris Jericho say that Kenny Omega has offered me the services of Kota Ibushi, and we will inevitably win the tag team titles. That won't happen, obviously. And Jericho and Ibushi lose to Starks and Big Bill. Pretty simple to me. Just swap out Omega for Ibushi, have the match go on, and then have the golden whatevers, the Japanese Jets, whatever it may be. What the Lover Jets, or whatever you want to call Chris Jericho and Kota Ibushi, whatever it may be, have them lose. That's pretty much it. There's really no other way to go about it. But all in all, I think everyone is going to be sending their prayers to Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega, I know he's going to come back better than ever. This ain't a good piece of news right here either. I don't know how true this is, but I really do hope that it's not the case. Dave Meltzer reported on Wrestling Observer Radio that Chad Gable's feud with Gunther has seemingly been dropped by the WWE. Meltzer noted that Gunther could either drop the title to Julius Creed or Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania next year. He stated, and I quote, Chad Gable did that big promo. Guy was going to win it for his daughter. They completely dropped that. They're not even in that direction anymore. I don't think it's him because there's no follow-up. I really do hope that that's not the case. Now, Dave Meltzer, sometimes he's right, sometimes he's not. Dave Meltzer is kind of a 50-50 type of guy when it ultimately comes down to everything. He's a 50-50 type of guy. Sometimes you can't really tell what Dave Meltzer says is true. Sometimes you can't tell if what Dave Meltzer says is untrue. You pick and choose. And I guess that could be applied to every wrestling journalist. That could be applied to a Fightful. That could be applied to a PW Insider. That could be applied to a Pro Wrestling Torch. That could be applied to Ringside News. That could be applied to SE Scoops. That could be applied to anybody. But if that is the case, I mean, holy fuck, what a missed opportunity. How are you going to drop the Chad Gable Gunther storyline when that right there is a perfect shoe-in match for WrestleMania? That should be the WrestleMania match, hands down. Why do we need Gunther in a match against Julius Creed when Julius Creed right now is in a tag team with his brother? Why are you automatically thinking about splitting up the Creeds? Why are you automatically thinking about making the Creeds singles wrestlers when they haven't even scratched the surface as tag team wrestlers? And then Brock Lesnar. I mean, why would Brock Lesnar want the Intercontinental Championship? He's not even there full time. Why would you even contemplate having Brock Lesnar beat Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship? It's stupid. Chad Gable and the storyline with Gunther has reportedly been dropped by WWE, according to Dave Meltzer. I hope that this is not the case. Reportedly, WWE has either plans for Julius Creed or Brock Lesnar. First of all, Brock Lesnar, if he's going to challenge Gunther for the Intercontinental title, Gunther should win. Gunther should ultimately defend the title against Brock Lesnar, if that's the case, and he should win, further cementing Gunther as the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. That's number one. And then you got Julius Creed, who's another guy that they're talking about. Why are we thinking about making the Creeds singles wrestlers when they haven't even scratched the surface as tag team wrestlers? Very fucking stupid on WWE's part. The match is there. The storyline is there. Gable, Gunther at WrestleMania. Gable wins the Intercontinental Championship. That is the only way that they should go. If they go in any other direction, it would be a huge, huge, huge fumble on WWE's behalf. Moving on here, we got a report from Thunder Rosa. We all love Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa is very good at what she does. According to a little interview that she did for a media station in San Antonio, former AEW Women's World Champion Thunder Rosa stated that she is ready to return to the ring, but she is waiting on the call from Tony Khan. She stated, and I quote, "I am ready whenever I get that call, and you know my boss says it's time for you to return. I'm super excited, and I cannot wait to show the world and all you fans that have been supporting all this time that I am ready, and I have a lot more to give." I'm not really sure what the fuck Tony Khan is waiting for. See, this is another reason why I said that Tony Khan needs to develop a creative team. He needs to hire help. I've stated numerous amounts of times, I understand the fucking passion. I understand the pride that Tony Khan takes. I take pride in what I do as well. I am very, very passionate about what I do on here. This is why I've done this shit for over 6 fucking years. And I've barely made any fucking money off of it. The only money that I've really made is from my fucking merch sales. And even then, I haven't really made a fortune from my merch sales. And most of the money that I have made from my merch sales has already been spent on more important shit like fucking bills. But either way, Tony Khan, as passionate as he is, I said it once, I'll say it again. You cannot succeed without help. You can't. I'm sorry. You cannot succeed without help. At the end of the day, Tony Khan is not a miracle worker. He cannot do everything by himself, because the more that he does that, the more he is going to end up wearing himself out. He's going to wear himself out. He's going to become exhausted, and the TV product is ultimately going to suffer. The TV product is not necessarily bad. The TV product, for the most part in 2023, has been very good. But he's made a lot of questionable decisions. We have had some very lackluster shows here and there. A lot of the builds towards each pay-per-view have not been all that exciting. World's End has probably had the most exciting build out of any AEW pay-per-view all year. All you need to do is take a look at the build that we got for All In. Like, oh my God, that is their biggest show of the year. They packed that place. Sold 81,000 tickets, and the build, it felt like they were building towards a fucking Dynamite. It felt like they were building towards a Dynamite. Now, the final product came off great. It was probably the best show of the year. But how exactly are you going to hype this up as your biggest show ever? Build this up as your WrestleMania, and it ultimately turns out to be a build that doesn't even reflect what we get on August 27th. Like, how can you do that? How can you have a build so lackluster and just build it on the fact that, oh yeah, it's our biggest show ever because we've sold 81,000 tickets? How can you do that? You can't. You can't go about something like that. That right there is just such a piss poor way of looking at things. And Tony Khan, he needs to just swallow his pride, and he needs to acknowledge that he needs assistance. And if he does get assistance, we'd be able to find a decent little position for majority of people on the show. Where we'd be able to find a decent position if we put certain feuds and certain wrestlers on certain shows. We split the rosters. We split the Ring of Honor and the AEW rosters. We put certain feuds on certain shows, only put the most important shit on the shows, focus on the youth, focus on women's wrestling, focus on tag team wrestling, hire a creative team so that way you can have some of the weight taken off of your shoulders. Because again, if you continue to operate at the level that you're operating at, you're going to wear yourself even more thin, and the TV product is going to suffer even more. You're going to fall into a void in which you're never going to get out of. You're going to fall into a void where you're going to have to work 10 times as hard to regain the trust of your audience if you start fucking up more and more and more. Thunder Rosa should already be back on television, if you're asking me. Let's talk about the big report, and then we're going to get into Raw, and then we're going to get into Dynamite. I did not take any legit notes on SmackDown. I did not take any legit notes on Rampage either. Let's talk about Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. So, Fightful, they came out with a rather interesting report. Regarding Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, and they stated that both of them have their contracts ready to expire in June of 2024. Now, obviously, new deals will be offered, but as we speak right now, nothing has been made public. Fightful even reached out to Seth Rollins to get his comments, and I don't believe that they're going to have much luck finding the comments. I genuinely don't believe that they're going to have much luck getting a response out of Seth Rollins, because why would Seth Rollins reveal such confidential information like that? Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are ultimately going to do what is best for them. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are ultimately going to do what is best for them, and I'm going to throw it out here for you. I don't believe that they're going anywhere. I think that they're going to resign. Based on how loyal they've been to WWE, they have pretty much been, for lack of a better term, WWE cocksuckers. But regardless, loyalty is something that they have, and it's been pretty obvious. So I don't think that they are going to leave anytime soon. I think that they're going to end their careers in WWE. However, this is just me being a fan, because at the end of the day, I'm a fan first. This is just me speaking subjectively. This is probably one of the very few times that you'll hear me speak subjectively, and then I'm going to go right back to speaking objectively. I would actually love to see Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch experiment with companies outside of the WWE. I would personally love to see Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins in All Elite Wrestling. They would thrive. They would very much thrive. Matter of fact, I actually hope that they don't resign. I genuinely hope that they don't resign. If you actually look at everything that has taken place over the course of the last X amount of months, and now we get this notification from Fightful that the contracts of Becky and Rollins are expiring next year, there has never been a better time for them to leave WWE. Now, obviously, we can talk about CM Punk. CM Punk is one factor. I don't care what's going on with this work that we saw at the end of Survivor Series, and we saw this fan camera catch a glimpse of Seth Rollins flipping off CM Punk, and how he's all pissed off, and whatever Punk is trying to spew, and Seth Rollins calling himself the best in the world at the live events that they're doing. It's all a work. It's pretty obvious. If you don't believe it's a work by now, then clearly something's wrong with you. But when it comes down to it all, there is absolutely validity when someone says that Colby Lopez does not like Phil Brooks. I could just see it all over his face. You can sense the vibe. You can sense it all over his face, his body language, his mannerisms. Seth Rollins legitimately does not like CM Punk. But CM Punk would not be the only reason why Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch would leave. Now, Becky Lynch, she could very well not like CM Punk either. But if Becky leaves, then Seth Rollins will follow, and vice versa. If Rollins leaves, then Becky will follow. There are a lot of other factors that would determine Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch's future. Obviously, they could take a pay deduction. It all depends on how they save their money. I like to believe that they're smart and they don't spend their money on bullshit. I like to believe that they are very much financially stable. And if they are, then I don't think either of them are going to mind taking a pay cut from Endeavor, and they're going to remain loyal with WWE. But if they want to, I mean, Tony Khan will offer them a shit ton of money. Tony Khan's got enough money to buy WWE. He got enough money to buy Endeavor. Tony Khan's got enough money to buy Endeavor. So if Tony Khan wanted to, he can absolutely break out that big check, throw out a blank check to Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. But money, I don't think is going to be a big factor here. What will be a big factor is what they could do. I want you guys to think about this. I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to answer me honestly. What exactly is there left for Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch to accomplish in the WWE? I can't really think of anything. They're two of the most decorated individuals in the entire company as we speak. They're two of the most successful professional wrestlers in WWE's modern era. Main events of pay-per-views, world championships, tag championships. They both won NXT championships. Becky Lynch has already main evented WrestleMania. And then you got Seth Rollins, who is pretty much on the verge of main eventing WrestleMania. Seth Rollins and CM Punk will be the main event of WrestleMania night number 1. And if that's the case, I mean, what is there left for Rollins to do? Rollins has literally done everything there is to do within the WWE, and he's faced everyone there is to face. Same thing with Becky Lynch. The only thing that Becky hasn't done is win a Money in the Bank briefcase. And does she really need it? The answer is no. But by the end of WrestleMania 40, Rollins and Becky would have accomplished legitimately everything there is to accomplish. Their WWE bucket list is full. Even with the new individuals coming up from NXT, Rollins and Becky Lynch, they are not going to be in major positions going forward. They're always going to have name value. They're always going to be main event players. But what exactly will they be doing after they resign? Becky Lynch, at this very moment, Becky Lynch shouldn't be winning any more championships. Becky Lynch should not be winning another world championship for the next 2-3 years at least. There's a lot of individuals in WWE right now that are much more worthy than Becky Lynch. A lot of individuals who have been waiting for an opportunity. The opportunities that Becky Lynch got, all because Nia broke her face. Don't like Nia Jax, but what Nia Jax is saying is pretty fucking true. And then Seth Rollins, what do you think Seth Rollins is going to be doing once he loses the World Heavyweight Championship? Because it's going to happen. He can't be World Heavyweight Champion forever. Whether it be at WrestleMania, SummerSlam, or Bash in Berlin, what happens when Rollins loses the World Heavyweight Championship? Remember what Seth Rollins was doing prior to him winning the World Heavyweight Championship? For 3 years, Seth Rollins was used, for lack of a better term, as a glorified enhancement talent. He put over Austin Theory. He put over Roman Reigns. He put over Cody Rhodes 3 fucking times. One of those times was when Cody Rhodes was legitimately injured with a torn fucking pectoral muscle. And he wrestled a fucking 26-minute Hell in a Cell match. He's put over Adam Copeland, Claudio Castagnoli, and Matt Riddle. And none of those individuals are even with the company anymore. Seth Rollins has given up his spot for 3 years to get everyone else over. Ultimately, to finally receive his flowers and win the World Heavyweight Championship. What do you think's going to happen after he loses the World Heavyweight title? He's going to go right back to doing the same thing after he loses. He's going to be right back in that same position, putting everyone else over. What do you think's going to happen when he fights a Braun Breaker or a Carmelo Hayes? Carmelo Hayes is going to win. Braun Breaker's going to win. What do you think is going to happen when Seth Rollins is no longer World Heavyweight Champion? He will be putting everyone else over. Just how it goes. That's the law of the land. The later that you get into your career and the more credibility that you have established, ultimately it is going to result in you giving back to the business. But Rollins has still got a lot of gas left in the tank. In WWE, he's going to be putting everyone else over. But if he goes to AEW, I mean, look at the endless amount of possibilities. Look at the endless amount of possibilities that Seth Rollins has at his disposal. We have Tyler Black in AEW. What do you think's going to happen? Think about the possibilities. Tyler Black versus Darby Allin. Tyler Black versus MJF. Tyler Black versus Sammy Guevara. Or Tyler Black versus Swerve Strickland. Daniel Garcia. Wheeler Yuta. Bryan Danielson. Claudio Castagnoli. Kenny Omega. Will Ospreay. John fucking Moxley. I mean, need I say more? Tyler Black and John Moxley. I mean, holy shit, the story is right fucking there. They could give us the story that we should have gotten in WWE, but we ultimately didn't get because WWE had other plans. WWE wanted to make John Moxley a fucking Bane ripoff. But now that if we have Tyler Black in AEW, we could very well get the Johnny Gargano-Tommaso Ciampa feud of AEW with John Moxley and Tyler Black. The story writes itself. What about if they team up? What if they team up? Imagine the match if they team up. Moxley and Tyler Black versus the House of Black. Moxley and Tyler Black versus the Young Bucks. Moxley and Tyler Black versus Aussie Open. Moxley and Tyler Black versus the Hardys. Moxley and Tyler Black versus FTR. Moxley and Tyler Black versus Edge and Christian. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. Think about it. Why wouldn't you want that? And then Becky Lynch. I mean, Becky Lynch could very well be the shot of adrenaline that the women's division needs. Look at the matches that Becky Lynch could fight in. Becky Lynch versus Saraya. Becky Lynch versus Toni Storm. Becky Lynch versus Chris Statlander. Becky Lynch versus Athena. Becky Lynch versus Hikaru Shida. Becky Lynch versus Riho. Becky Lynch versus God knows how many other women. Billy Starks. Sky Blue. Willow Nightingale. Think about all the great matches that Becky Lynch could put out there in the AEW women's division. Think about all of the great moments that she could very well achieve. Becky Lynch and Britt Baker. My God, I mean, that's a big-time money match in the women's division if I've ever seen one. Becky Lynch and Thunder Rosa. Becky Lynch and Jamie Hayter. Why would you not want something like that? Becky Lynch and Tyler Black, Rebecca Quinn and Tyler Black in AEW, that could very well give them a new lease on life. It would offer a new sense of excitement to their careers. It would offer a new sense of excitement to the AEW brand. Some people are saying that Seth Rollins is washed. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. There's some AEW shills out there trying to convince themselves that Seth Rollins is washed. Are you out of your fucking mind? Look at what he's been doing his entire world title reign. Look at the matches that he's every single match that he's had in his world title reign, minus the match against Finn Balor at Money in the Bank, has been very good. Finn Balor at SummerSlam, Braun Breaker on NXT, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn. Look at what he did with Jey Uso a few weeks ago. You're telling me that match wasn't a banger? You're telling me that if you didn't take Jey Uso and Seth Rollins and what they did on Raw 2 weeks ago, and you put it on a Dynamite, or you put it on a Collision, or you put it on a fucking pay-per-view, you're telling me that would not fit like a glove? Come on, man. And then another factor that a lot of people have not taken into consideration, the lighter schedule. That back injury that Nakamura was trying to sell the feud with Rollins on, that wasn't just a means to sell their feud. That wasn't a means to sell their feud. That was legitimate. Seth Rollins has a legit back problem. With WWE, it's kind of hard because WWE, aside from the 3 weekly shows that they got about 4 house shows throughout the week. How many fucking holiday tours do they got? How many fucking house shows does WWE have scattered throughout the year? Even though they are looking to cut back on their house show schedule, the house shows, it's pretty, I'm going to say these house shows, they're taxing. A lot of injuries actually occur at these house shows. The house shows in itself are very, and I mean very fucking taxing. And I genuinely believe that Seth Rollins could benefit from a physical standpoint only working 1 to 2 days a week. Same thing with Becky Lynch. You don't think that Becky Lynch and her body must be hurting? You don't think that Becky Lynch, Rebecca Quinn, you don't think that she has had some injuries that have certainly taken a toll on her? Of course she has. Rebecca Quinn and Seth Rollins, Rebecca Quinn and Tyler Black in AEW would not only be great for them from a quality standpoint, not only would they make the shows better, but it would be better for their bodies. It would be better for their bodies so they don't have to work as much. And if they're winding down their careers, if they're looking to take a bit of a lighter schedule to help them from a physical standpoint, AEW would be a perfect place for that because they never do house shows. The last set of house shows that they did was back in March. And then, this is probably one of their most important factors right here. I'd be a betting man, and I'd probably win. And I would win big time if I was to say that Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, they want to spend more time with their daughter. They would love to spend more time with their daughter as a family. How old is their daughter? 3 years old? Gonna be 4 years old? Their daughter is at that age. Where they're going to want to start making some memories. The only way that you can make memories with your family is when you have extra free time. And if Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, if they are paid big bucks for a lighter schedule to help them physically, and you can travel back to Iowa to be with your family. You can travel to wherever they live, Iowa or Florida, California, wherever the fuck they're stationed at. You travel back after whatever show that you're on, and you can stay there for a couple days to spend some more time with their daughter. I mean, why wouldn't they want that? I'd like to believe that Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, they are big time family people. And if they're big time family people, I don't really understand why going to AEW would be a bad thing if it means spending more time with their daughter. I mean, you take a look at Seth Rollins. I'm sure that he also has Moxley in his ear. Moxley and Rollins are still very good friends outside of wrestling. They're actually closer than Rollins and Reigns are. Moxley and Rollins are still very close. Rollins even said in an interview that he comes and visits over the house in Ohio. He visits Renee, he visits Moxley, he visits their daughter. So if they're still good friends, you can imagine that Jon Moxley's like, hey, why don't you come on over? Come on over. Let's see what you got. Why don't we do something? Let's have some fun over here. If you don't think that Jon Moxley has been talking to Seth Rollins about it, I don't know. I think you may want to check yourself. I'm not saying it's a definite. This is all mere speculation, but based on everything that I just said, I don't understand why anyone would think that Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins going over to AEW would be a bad thing. I do believe that Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch will ultimately resign, but there are a lot of convincing factors for them to go over to AEW. It offers new opportunities, seeing as they've done everything in WWE as we speak. It offers a lighter schedule, so that way they could benefit physically. It offers a lighter schedule, and they won't have to work as many house shows because AEW doesn't do house shows. And then 3, I'd be a betting man, and I'd say that they are big-time family people. And if they're family people, then they would want to spend more time with their daughter. Their daughter's going to be 3 years old, 4 years old. She's at that age where she can start remembering things. Why wouldn't Rollins and Lynch want to start making memories with their daughter? The only way that they can do that is if they have time. And with AEW, they would have a lot more time. I'm not saying it's a definite, but it is certainly a possibility out there that we could see Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch jump ship to AEW in June. Those are all the news, rumors, and reports that I got for you. Those are all the news, rumors, and reports that I got for you, and I hope you guys have had a fun time with the stream so far. I hope you guys have had a fun time with the stream so far. Thank you very much to the Final Hoss. Thank you very much to Dylan. Thank you very much to Earl. Thank you very much to everyone watching on Rumble as well. Thank you very much to Kids Z. How you doing over there, Kids Z on Rumble? I greatly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch me on YouTube. It's probably the best time of your day because I am just that damn good at what I do. Please make sure you hit the like button, share the stream out on all platforms, social media. We are going to get right into the festivities on the weekly show reviews portion. So let's talk about Raw, actually. Let's talk about Raw, actually. We got ourselves a very good show. Raw continued on the momentum that they built this past Monday. And based on what we are seeing, it looks like WWE, it seems as though they're slowly starting to shake off that lazy mentality when it comes to the month of December. And I'm very, very happy about that. I'm very, very happy about that. And I was very, very, very pleased. Jey Uso kicked off the show, and he talked about what's going on with CM Punk and how he wants to have CM Punk in the building. We also had Drew McIntyre coming out. He wished Sami Zayn well in his recovery, did Jey Uso. And then Drew McIntyre, he actually gave a very sarcastic apology to Sami Zayn. And he actually said, please, I know from experience, CM Punk will rip that locker room apart from the inside out. He's going to destroy it. The crowd started chanting CM Punk. So the crowd was booing Drew McIntyre. Drew goes, yeah, keep on booing me like I'm wrong. He goes, you will see the truth for what it is, and the truth will set you free. He then called some guy in the audience a coward. Jay then said, if you want Drew McIntyre to catch this yeet down, let me hear you say yeet. So they were able to get yeet back. I'm very, very happy about it. Very, very happy about it. And it looks like they paid off Casey Huffman. It's a great thing, isn't it? Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre. We got a very good match right here. Jey took over early. Jey with a diving crossbody for a 2. Drew McIntyre then with a suplex toss. Drew went for the Claymore. He landed on the announce table. Jey then with a suicide dive coming back from commercial. Drew then remained in control. Jey mounted a comeback. We had a Glasgow kiss by Drew. Drew then dove off the top rope. He missed it. Uso with a Samoan drop for a 2 and a hip attack. But he missed. He missed the hip attack. We had a neck breaker by Drew. Super kick by Jey. Second one and an Uso splash, but Drew got the knees up. Future Shock DDT. Jey was able to kick out at 2. Drew then took off the turnbuckle pad. Jey with a spear. Drew kicked out at 2. Drew, he then raked the eyes of Jey Uso while the ref's back was turned. He delivered a Claymore, and Drew McIntyre wins the match 1, 2, 3. Now, this was a very good match. This was a very, very, very good match, but it's been done way too often. We need to get Drew McIntyre in something else. We see him in the same Ring Around the Rosie matches week in and week out. Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso. Now, Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title, that was actually booked for night 1 of the New Year's WWE schedule. So it's going to be on the day 1 version of Monday Night Raw. It's going to be on Monday Night Raw on January 1st, which I have absolutely no problem with at all. I had no problem with that whatsoever, and I'm looking forward to that. We got a video package. A video package hyping up Nakamura and Cody Rhodes. They were set to fight later on in the night. I thought the video package was very, very good. Maxine Dupree and Rhea Ripley. This was absolutely disastrous on the part of Maxine. I don't know what the fuck happened. Maxine Dupree has actually been doing pretty decent, but holy shit, she was off here. This was a very, very clunky match. Thankfully, it was short, but it was clunky. It was lame. Crowd didn't care. Rhea Ripley wins. Pretty simple. And then she had a stare down with Ivy Nile. So I'm assuming we're going to get Ivy Nile and Rhea Ripley at some point. That should be a decent match. Listen, I don't want to take anything away from Ivy Nile. Rhea Ripley's great, but Rhea has no credible challengers. I've been saying this for God knows how long. The title is essentially a prop on Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley gets more attention and she gets more traction via pictures of her ass on social media, more so than she does through her title reign. Her title reign has been a complete fucking afterthought. No one has given a shit. And it's a sad scenario, but there are absolutely no credible challengers for Rhea Ripley whatsoever. There's none. There's absolutely fucking none. And Ivy Nile, no matter how good of a match we may get, it's not going to result in anything. It's not going to result in anything until we get to WrestleMania, because at WrestleMania, I find it very, very hard to believe that they're not going to go with Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley. I find it very, very hard. Rhea Ripley, she went for a powerbomb, clearly botched because of Maxine. Rhea then with the Riptide and the Prism Lock. Rhea didn't let go before Ivy Nile came in, stared face-to-face with Rhea Ripley, and then Rhea Ripley backed away. Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce introduced CM Punk. CM Punk came out all happy. Really looks like fake happiness to me, but then again, that's just me. That's just me trying to cause trouble. He says that this town and this building hasn't always been kind to CM Punk. I debuted in this building and I had Mickie James under my arm. They actually sent me to OVW. Then I came to the WWE and I embraced being uncomfortable. I returned and I won the World Heavyweight Championship. Randy Orton then punted me in the skull. I woke up in a hospital bed and they told me that they stripped me of the championship. 10 years ago, almost to the day, I had to take myself off of the hamster wheel and I walked out of Cleveland. I was once a young fan. A young fan of Rowdy Roddy Piper back in the day. And he ended up going to WCW and I felt betrayed. So if anyone felt disappointed, then I apologize. I heard all sides. Adam Pearce, he put together a good deal, but in my mind, it was already made up. I saw the date, and I saw that it was going to be in Cleveland. My future starts now. CM Punk walked out, and then 10 years, almost to the day, CM Punk walks right back in. The newest Raw superstar is named CM Punk, and CM Punk is home. CM Punk then signed the contract. He was all hyped up. All of a sudden, Seth Rollins came out with the crowd singing his theme song with his shiny purple suit. He looked like a crystallized grape out there. Seth Rollins looked like a fucking crystallized grape. He then stood face to face. The crowd was chanting, "Fuck you, Seth." And then they started singing Seth's theme song. Rollins then took the mic and he goes, "CM Punk, welcome to Monday Night Rollins. I hope you know how fortunate you are to be standing in this ring, but can you do me a favor? don't you ever stand here and call this place your home. You abandoned this place. You actively tried to tear it down, slandering me and every single person in that locker room. This is not your home. This is my home. He looked like Willy Wonka. Yeah, he did. I was waiting. All we were missing was the fucking top hat. Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure retardation. Good remix right there. I think that's my next cover. After the Christmas songs, I think that's my next cover. So Rollins, he said that this is his home. Everyone in that locker room, those are my brothers and my sisters. This is my home, and I will do anything to protect it from people like you. I do not want there to be any confusions here. I hate you, Seth Rollins. But if you're going to be a part of WWE, then I want you on Raw. The truth always comes out, and you know damn well that this is your last chance. You'll self-destruct, and I'll be the one to slam the door shut on your legacy. Or if you've changed and you've got any gas left, maybe you'll stand across the ring from me in a world title match. And I'll expose you for the fraud that you are, then show everyone what it really means to be the best in the world. The crowd then chanted, CM Punk, CM Punk. Punk then goes, are you done? That's your one pass to speak to me like that without me coming after you. Pierce, where you at? Let's make things official. CM Punk is officially entering the Royal Rumble. And when CM Punk wins, maybe it's you he's coming after. First of all, this was excellent. This was excellent. This is what we need. This is going to bring out the CM Punk that we need on TV. This is going to bring out the asshole CM Punk. This is going to bring out the dickhead CM Punk. This is going to bring out the douchebag CM Punk. That's what we need. We don't need lovey-dovey, I love you, I'm home, CM Punk. That's not who he is. I said it on the rewind for NXT Deadline. CM Punk and the way that he's come off, it feels so fucking forced. It's not genuine. When he first came back to AEW, that was genuine. And then he revealed his true colors. The guy is a fucking brick. CM Punk at his core is a fucking asshole. That's the guy that we need on TV. And the fact that Rollins went out there and did what he did, that right there is going to bring out the CM Punk that we need. And when WrestleMania season starts and Punk wins the Royal Rumble and chooses Seth Rollins, now we're really going to start getting that juicy, spicy, intriguing, engaging, garnering attention version of CM Punk. And Rollins, this was probably the best that Seth Rollins has ever come off in a promo. Seth Rollins felt like a world champion. He did not come off like a secondary guy. He came off like a world fucking champion. Now, was it a copy and paste version of what Hangman Adam Page did? Yes, it was. I'm not going to deny it. However, both of those scenarios called for it. Both of the scenarios called for the intensity from Hangman and Rollins. Both of those scenarios called for the clapback and the spiciness and the shots. The only difference is what Hangman did, he did not go over what he was going to say with Punk. He did not clarify everything, and shit was blown out of proportion. Although, I'm probably going to throw it out there that Hangman's was probably better just because of the fact that what Hangman did, Hangman kind of exposed CM Punk. Hangman was kind of the guy that exposed CM Punk for being the douchebag that he is, so I kind of got to give the edge to Hangman there. But this promo with Seth Rollins, it was still very good. Even if it was a copy and paste version of what Hangman said, it was still very good because this type of scenario, this called for it. The scenario with Seth Rollins and CM Punk, everything that Rollins said makes sense. Everything that Rollins said makes sense. And the fact that we are getting what we're getting here with Rollins and CM Punk, this is going to make WrestleMania season that much more intriguing. It's going to make it that much more intriguing, and it's going to give people even more of a reason to watch Raw. Obviously, with SmackDown, it's going to be about Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes and finishing the story and all that bullshit. But with Raw, with CM Punk and Seth Rollins leading the charge going into WrestleMania, that right there, that is going to give that shot of adrenaline that Raw needs. And Raw, now we know what Raw is going to go forth with going into WrestleMania. We can further place our stamp on Monday Night Raw as being the most complete show that WWE has. Raw is a complete wrestling show. Everything on the show feels like it needs to be there. Raw has everything that you want in a pro wrestling show. Some weeks it's good, some weeks it's not. But now that we got ourselves a nice little hot streak, and now we got ourselves our main event on Monday Night Raw side of the spectrum, now people are going to want to tune into Monday Night Raw even more so. This is that hope that Triple H has been giving us with WWE. Again, pretty much the same thing. Pretty much the same thing as the Hangman promo. Both promos were good. Hangman's kind of got that edge, even though he did go off the script. He learned his lesson, thankfully. He learned his lesson, and Hangman just does his fucking job now. But Hangman was kind of the guy that exposed CM Punk for the piece of shit that he is. So I guess you kind of got to give the edge over to Hangman. Listen, you like him or not. Like him or not, that's the truth. I speak objectively, not subjectively. Shout out to Lisa, by the way. Shout out to Lisa. And by the way, it's going to be her birthday in 2 days. It's going to be her birthday in 2 days. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Happy early birthday to you, Lisa. Ivar and Bronson Reed. Ivar and Bronson Reed. This was a fun little match. I was actually very much pleased with what we got. I actually wish they would have gone a little bit longer. So both men obviously using their power. We had a super kick by Reed. Sit out spinebuster by Ivar for a 2. We had a cannonball off the top by Ivar to the floor onto Reed, back into the ring. Bronson Reed delivered a superplex. He delivered a superplex to Ivar. I'm surprised the ring didn't break. And Reed ended up getting the win. Not really sure where they're going with Bronson Reed because it doesn't feel like Bronson Reed is going to be winning any titles anytime soon. But I'm glad that he got a win. The Judgment Day. They came out to address the crowd. Priest was not too happy. Priest says he wanted to remind everyone who they really are. Balor then hyped him and Priest up as the only 2-time undisputed tag team champions. Priest then said everyone is put on notice. Dom tried to speak. Crowd booed, obviously. All of a sudden, R-Truth came out. I didn't know what the fuck to expect from this. R-Truth came out, and he says that he wanted to do some clubhouse decorating. So JD got pissed. Damian Priest tried to calm him down. Damian Priest then said, you know what? Come on in here, Truth. I actually want to hear what you got to say. So Truth says that he's got a lot of ideas, and he wanted to share them with the Judgment Day. So Priest was all ears. Truth then started with, I think we got to kick JD out. So JD then got pissed off. And then I don't know why, but I found this a hell of a lot more funny than it really should have been. R-Truth goes, we got to kick JD out. You visibly saw Damian Priest and Finn Balor. They had to look away from R-Truth because they were fucking laughing. So they looked away from R-Truth because they were fucking laughing. And R-Truth just goes, I'm sorry, dog. No one likes you. No one likes you. So Truth and Priest, or Balor and Priest, are trying to keep themselves composed. And then Damian Priest goes, all right, what else you got? And Truth goes, I think you got to stop calling yourself the boss. So Damian Priest visibly got pissed. And Truth goes, not that I got a problem with that. I think you're a fantastic boss, but it just makes mommy mad. I don't know what it is, but just the way that R-Truth talks, I just can't help but laugh. So Priest goes, yeah, everyone likes R-Truth except me. So R-Truth then just got the shit clotheslined out of him. Creed Brothers came out. Creed Brothers ended up standing tall, and that was pretty much that. Creed Brothers, I have to say this. The Creed Brothers, they have been built up very nicely. I really have to admit that Triple H, if there's one thing that he has done a very, very, very good job with, he has built up the Creed Brothers perfectly. He has built up the Creed Brothers so freaking perfectly. And win or lose, it's ultimately going to be a win for them at the end of the match with the Judgment Day, because the Creed Brothers, they're going to continue gaining momentum. Within 2 months, Triple H has taken the Creed Brothers and he has made the Creed Brothers a mainstay staple on Raw. And that I can appreciate. New stars. Gotta love it. Shout out to Billy, who's also in the chat. Hope you guys are having a fun time. And I hope you guys are going to be following me on Rumble too, because we are live on Rumble for the first time ever. And we're getting a nice wide outreach. So after that, we had ourselves Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae versus Katana Chance and Caden Carter. Now, again, I'm very, very happy to see Caden Carter. I'm very, very happy to see Caden Carter and Katana Chance on TV. Very, very happy to see that. But no one gives a shit about the women's division. No one cares. No one cares about WWE's women's wrestling. And it's sad. It's sad, but the women's division in WWE has no momentum. It has no hype. People made more noise for Riho and Ruby Soho on Dynamite, more so than they did these two teams. And it sucks because these four women are four very good pro wrestlers. They really are. So Katana Chance and Caden Carter, they ended up getting the win. And I really, really do hope that we will ultimately be seeing new tag team champions next week. Because we got a tag team title match next week. And it is going to be none other than Katana Chance and Caden Carter versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. And that should be it. That should be it. Now, again, the tag team titles don't really mean anything. Tag team titles don't mean jack shit. But it would certainly be better than what we got with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Chelsea Green's fucking annoying and not the good kind. Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch came out to address the crowd. So she came out to call out Nia Jax, and they have been linked together for this very reason. And she replayed the night where Nia Jax broke Becky Lynch's face. He goes, I think we need to get to the root of the problem. I went on to main event WrestleMania, and Nia Jax got double ACL surgery because she's so unlikable that even her own legs wouldn't stand up for her. I actually laughed at that. I thought that was a brilliant one-liner. Double ACL surgery because she is so unlikable that even her own legs would not stand up for her. Gotta love it. So she goes, I got a child. I had a child and she went on to get fired. Nia Jax then came out. Nia Jax says, I'm not fired anymore. I'm right here in front of you better than ever. I wouldn't necessarily call Nia Jax better than ever. Let's pump the brakes there, all right, girl? She goes, that punch was just a lucky swing, and I didn't even get all the impact. What if I punched you with full force? You wouldn't get back up. Becky then said, you're the most dangerous woman in the sport. And yes, I know. That's actually very, very true, but it's not for the reason that you think it is. It's because she's a fucking injury machine. All she does is fucking injure people. So Nia said, for all the careers that I ended, you have me to thank for yours. Becky then said, if this was about a broken face, people would move on, but it's about what that night represented. You and your minions said that I wasn't a main event star, and then I proved you wrong. But then you said I was only a main event star because of that night, and that is a lie. And if I can't end that lie, then I'm going to end you. Nia Jax then said, isn't this funny? You need me. You need me so that way you can prove your career wasn't just because of an accident. Otherwise, I will always be known as the woman who made the man. Becky then told Nia to shut up because she came looking for a fight. Nia then walked away and she said, you need this a lot more than I do. And that was pretty much that. It's kind of a tough, and I mean a very, very, very tough scenario because the whole storyline, it makes sense. It makes sense. And what they were saying in the promo, it's all true. What they're saying in the promo is all true. And you know what? I'm sure a lot of people would be a lot more interested in this if the fact that Nia Jax wasn't such a terrible fucking wrestler. It's almost, it's so weird. It's so weird. And it's very, very, very hard for me to wrap my head around this because I want to praise this. I want to praise this because what Becky is saying and what Nia is saying, it's all true. Becky Lynch and the entire perception around the man, the whole reason why Becky Lynch made it to the main event of WrestleMania was because Nia Jax broke her face. If Nia Jax had never broken Becky Lynch's face, ultimately, Becky Lynch would have fought Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series. She would have lost to Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series, and we probably would have gotten Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 35 in the main event. No Becky Lynch. So, it makes sense, but I cannot bring myself to care about this only because I know what the end result is going to be. The end result is going to be a shit wrestling match. But then again, this is all just an interim program before Becky Lynch inevitably gets to Rhea Ripley. Becky should win the chamber and go to Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. That's how they should play this out. Imperium. They took on DIY and The Miz. And they were in Cleveland, so crowd was heavy into Johnny Wrestling and heavy into The Miz. Gunther, he took over real quick. Gunther then tagged out. Ciampa then with a big boot. Coming back from commercial, Vinci with a running crossbody on Ciampa. Ciampa then tossed Gargano. He then lit up Vinci. DDT on Kaiser and another slingshot spear on Kaiser. Vinci then saved the match. We had a big right hand by Ludwig Kaiser. Gargano tagged in The Miz. We had Kaiser tagging in Gunther. Miz went after Gunther with a clothesline in the corner. Nice springboard crossbody. Kicks to the chest. We had a big chop by Gunther, shutting down The Miz. Gunther then with a Boston Crab. Ciampa with a running knee to save it. We had Gargano and The Miz with double satellite DDTs, which looked very nice. Miz then with a figure four on Gunther, and that was in deep. Gargano, then with the Gargano escape on Kaiser, and it ultimately took Vinci with a springboard elbow to save Gunther. Now, everyone was taken out at this moment before Gunther was out, and Vinci was the legal man with the Miz. Miz then with the skull-crushing finale, and Miz wins it 1-2-3, and we got ourselves a big-time Intercontinental Championship match that's going to take place next week on Raw, I believe. It's either next week on Raw or it's January 1st. I'm not sure when, but either way, we're getting a rematch with Gunther and The Miz. Should be good. Should be good. Next week, we got 2 sets of tag team championship matches. We got Katana Chance and Caden Carter versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, and the Creed Brothers versus the Judgment Day. And then in the main event, Nakamura and Cody Rhodes. I don't want to say that this was a boring match, but it didn't feel like they were going all in. It didn't feel like they were going all in because ultimately, Shinsuke Nakamura, he sprayed Cody in the face with the mist, and that was that. That was that. And we are ultimately going to be looking down the barrel of a rematch. Probably with a stipulation, I'm guessing. I actually hope that we get a stipulation. Probably a no disqualification match. I think that would be much better. But clearly, they weren't going all in. They weren't going all in simply because of the fact that a rematch is coming. And that was it. Nakamura sprayed the mist in Cody's face. The Creed Brothers then came out to help Cody Rhodes, which is kind of weird, but I'm guessing that they're going to use Cody Rhodes to try and help get the Creed Brothers a little bit more over. I'm guessing maybe after the Creed Brothers lose to the Judgment Day, maybe the Creed Brothers are going to be Cody Rhodes' assistants at WrestleMania. Maybe. But that was Raw. That was Raw. That was not half bad at all. Not half bad of a show at all. It was actually a very good wrestling show. Very good wrestling show. And I'm very, very pleased with what Triple H is doing with Raw. And I genuinely hope that this is going to be the norm. Because if this is the norm for Raw, then we are ultimately going to get a very, very, very good 2024. I'm looking forward to it. One more time, people, thank you all for watching. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. Thank you to the final host. Thank you to Lisa. Thank you to Hooligram. Thank you to Raging Girl Gamer. Thank you to Billy. Thank you to Earl Cole. Thank you to Sports and Wrestling Connection. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. You guys are the reason why I continue to do what I do here. And it seems as though Hooligram got my tweet from earlier. And yes, Hooligram, I have a good idea of who Keith Lee is talking about. I have a good idea of who Keith Lee is talking about as far as who him really is. Let's talk about Dynamite. We got ourselves another very good show with Dynamite this past Wednesday. The Continental Classic has really given AEW a sense of life. Continental Classic has really given AEW a sense of extra purpose. And it's really made the month of December a must-see month for pro wrestling. Continental Classic has been kicking ass week in and week out, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what we have in store for the future because World's End is looking like a damn good fucking show. Dynamite winner is coming. Samoa Joe kicked off the show, and he said that his name is Samoa Joe, and he came here looking for answers. Last week, I was made into a liar. I saw MJF laid out in the back, potentially jeopardizing my title opportunity at World's End. And when I went back there, I saw a beer bottle of a certain beer brand that a certain cowboy likes bashed over MJF's head. And I looked around and I saw a certain Hangman was missing. All of a sudden, out came Adam Page. Adam Page then talked and told Samoa Joe, hey, looks like you got something to say. So why don't you say it to my face? Say it like the man that I thought you were. Because here's the thing. I don't care about the bromance. I don't care about the laser tag. I don't care about who done it. Joe then said, you know what, Hangman, maybe I'm not here to play detective. Maybe I'm here as an executioner. So now things are getting really intense. All of a sudden, you just hear Roderick Strong in the background. Samoa! Adam! I'm surprised he didn't say Adam. You had Adam Page right in the ring, and I'm surprised we didn't hear Roderick Strong go, Adam! Hologram! I think I'm going to start doing that whenever I do a stream with Hologram. I'm going to go the Roderick Strong route. Hologram! Roderick Strong screaming Samoa Joe's name. Roderick Strong then said that you need to listen to Hangman. You need to listen to Hangman. Listen to Hangman. And I want you to think about this for a minute. Strong then ran down the people that helped MJF, stating that Adam Cole got hurt, the Acclaimed got hurt. MJF is clearly the devil. Strong then shoved Adam Page, and he goes, not now, Adam. I'm trying to have a conversation with my best friend by proxy, Samoa. And before he could finish, we had Samoa Joe getting punched out. Or excuse me, not Samoa Joe getting punched out. Not Samoa Joe getting punched out. Samoa Joe didn't get punched out. It was Roderick Strong who got punched out. Boom, right to the face. Right to the face. And that was that. That was that. And we got ourselves a wrestling match between Roderick Strong and Hangman Adam Page. And then, of course, there's going to be people. There's going to be people that are going to say to themselves, why are Roderick Strong and Adam Page fighting? Adam Page and Roderick Strong, they're both involved in the MJF Devil storyline. They're both involved in the storyline. Roderick Strong is on a quest to prove to everyone that he is to be taken seriously. Hangman Adam Page, he was just inserted into the storyline last week with MJF, which, by the way, I really do hope that we get a Hangman Adam Page MJF match, because that right there is going to be one hell of a match if we do. But now with Roderick Strong and Adam Page being involved in the storyline, this is a continuation of the Devil storyline without MJF, without the main character. The main character, he doesn't need to be there every week. So that now that the main character is not there every week, now we have someone else. Now we have someone else in Roderick Strong, someone else in Adam Page, someone else in Samoa Joe to help continue that storyline. And now that Adam Page is on his own, Adam Page is coming off the Swerve Strickland feud. Adam Page is trying to get back on the winning track because Adam Page, he wants to be a world champion again. So why not fight Roderick Strong? Every single one of these individuals are intertwined in the story. Roderick Strong is absolutely one of the minions. Roderick Strong is absolutely one of the Devil's minions. So we got ourselves a very good match right here. We had Page mounting a comeback with a Death Valley driver. We had a pop-up powerbomb by Page for a 2. Back suplex facebuster by Strong for a 2. Olympic slam into a Tiger driver. Roderick Strong only got a 2. Page was then locked in the stronghold before he got out. We had a big Orihara moonsault onto the Kingdom. Roderick Strong then stopped the buckshot lariat. We had a big lariat by Page, and then he delivered the Deadeye. Adam Page wins 1-2-3. Very good professional wrestling match. Love him or hate him, Adam Page, he is their top babyface as we speak, minus MJF. And Adam Page, he puts on a great wrestling match when he is given the opportunity. I know you don't like him, Hologram, but you can't deny the in-ring talent of Adam Hangman Page, especially after the match that he put on at Full Gear. Believe that. Speaking of a great wrestling match, Brody King and Andrade El Idolo. This was a Blue League Continental Classic match. And my God, this was fucking excellent. These two guys, beating the ever-living shit out of each other. Beating the ever-living shit out of each other. And my God, it was a joy to watch. I love seeing two guys just beat the shit out of each other. Brody King was in control. We had a nice running senton. You could not pay me enough to take a running senton or cannonball from Brody King. Both men then traded chops. We had Andrade then with a springboard crossbody. That only got a 1 count. Andrade with a moonsault onto the floor. King took over again. Coming back from commercial, Andrade then mounted a comeback with some big chops. We had a dragon screw and a second one. Big flying forearm. Big flying forearm by Andrade. After the flying forearm, Andrade then with a split-legged moonsault. Crowd chanted, "This is awesome." Texas is always a good crowd for AEW. We had double knees, but they missed. Brody King then with a cannonball in the corner for a 2. Back and forth strikes. We had a back elbow by Andrade. Andrade then went up to the top. Brody King went up with him. And Andrade then drove Brody King into the exposed post. Brody King hit the exposed post and he was knocked out. Andrade then delivered the hammerlock DDT right on the top of Brody King's head, and Andrade pins Brody King 1, 2, 3. This was an upset for me. I did not think that Brody King was going to lose. I thought that Brody King was going to run through everyone in this fucking tournament. I legit thought Brody King was going to be the fucking beast that he's always meant to be. I'm telling you, this was a shock to me. But Andrade, let me tell you something. If there's one guy I would not mind, I'm still picking Swerve. But if there's one guy that I would not mind winning, I would not mind seeing Andrade take the win. I would not mind seeing Andrade win the whole damn thing. He's fucking great at what he does. 9 points, Andrade. Andrade's running through fucking everybody. Gotta love it. Golden Jets. They came out to address the crowd. Jericho welcomed everyone to the return of the Golden Jets. He says he was out because of Ricky Starks and Big Bill. He told them to get their sorry asses out here now. Starks then thanked everyone in AEW. He thanked everyone in AEW, and he said that Jericho sucks the life out of everyone. So Kenny was praised for AEW. Jericho's a clout-sucking vampire. Big Bill then said to Kenny, Kenny, you look at everything that Jericho has done to you. Can you really trust Chris Jericho? Kenny Omega said, of course I don't. But Bill, do you remember the Firm? So this is where things started to get a little funny. Kenny goes, do you remember the Firm? I do, but it was more like the Flaccid. You could say it was almost soft. I actually laughed at that. So Kenny Omega calling Big Bill's Firm faction soft. Gotta love it. Omega then said, at World's End, we are going to invoke our match for the AEW World Tag Team title. Starks laughed. He said, you're on. He then said, Chris Jericho, do you remember when I beat you twice earlier this year? Which he did. He goes, I beat you on Dynamite, and then I beat you on a pay-per-view as well. Jericho said, you know what? I think that these guys need a new name. What do you say? How about the Absolute Assholes? Crowd started chanting assholes. This one was my favorite one right here. Jericho goes, wait, I got a better one. The Rick and the Dick. That was my favorite one. The Rick and the Dick. And then he goes, how about you take their two names and put them together? How about Big Billy Starks? Starks then said, well, that one fell flat. Jericho goes, yeah, it did. So that one was kind of cringe. Chris then said, Starks, you want to call me a clout vampire? If I was a clout vampire, I would choose someone with a hell of a lot more clout than you. Because all I see when I look at you, and this was my favorite part of the entire promo, all I see when I look at you is a better dressed, less charismatic version of Enzo Amore. And then the crowd went, oh. And then Jericho, he was relishing in his handiwork. Kenny then jumped in and he said, well, hold on. We got to give Enzo some credit. At least Enzo hyped up Big Bill. He didn't take all the spotlight. So Starks then got pissed, and he promised that he is going to bring the war because they are the best tag team that there is. And if you think that you're better, well, then prove it, you Winnipeg scumbags. Kenny then bidded everyone adieu, goodbye, and good night, bang. I'm actually kind of disappointed that we're not going to get the match. I was very much looking forward to the match, but like I said, I still think that we should end up going with Jericho and Ibushi. We'll go with Jericho and Ibushi, and ultimately we will see Ricky Starks and Big Bill getting the win. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Kenny Omega, I wish Kenny Omega the best in his road to recovery. I know that he's a fighter. He's a fighter, so you know that Kenny Omega, he's going to do everything in his power to get back as soon as possible. But Kenny Omega, unfortunately, he is out of World's End. They're gonna need him. They're gonna need him when they get back, that's for sure. Some people were saying that this was a bad segment. I don't really understand why people were saying that this was a bad segment. Was it the greatest segment? No. If anything, I'll probably put it out there that this was probably the weakest match on the show. Now, even though this was the weakest match on the show, let's not act like it was terrible. We did get some funny lines here and there. I wasn't expecting a CM Punk Seth Rollins segment. I wasn't expecting an Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley type of promo from these four guys, but let's not act like this was the worst thing in the world. Was it the worst thing on the show? It may have been the most lackluster thing on the show, but it wasn't necessarily terrible. Ruby Soho, she took on Riho. Whether you like Riho or not, Riho does add a lot to the women's division, and I'm actually very much looking forward to seeing what they do with Riho and Toni Storm at World's End. I think that that's going to be a nice, decent women's match for Riho and Toni Storm. I think that's going to be a nice, solid showcase for both women. So Riho with a roll-through double stomp. Coming back from commercial, Riho then with a 619 connects, diving crossbody for a 2. Ruby and Riho then traded elbows back and forth. Riho with a very nice crucifix bomb. We had some back and forth counters. Ruby then with no future. Riho then was able to get out. We had a guillotine by Ruby. Riho then with the Northern Lights suplex out of the guillotine, which looked very nice. We had a Snapdragon and the running Meteora for the win. 1, 2, 3. Decent little match right here. And I'm looking forward to seeing Ruby Soho and not Ruby Soho, Riho and Toni Storm at World's End. I remember they actually had a pretty decent match not that long ago. They actually had a pretty solid match over the summer. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else they produce. Roosh and Jay Lethal. This was pretty quick. Didn't really have a chance to get going. This was a Gold League Continental Classic match. And Roosh ended up tapping out Jay Lethal with a sleeper. Now, I'm not really sure what this means for Roosh. I don't think Roosh is winning. Roosh is not going to win the tournament. Roosh is ultimately going to fall to Swerve next week. But one thing I will say is this. I do believe that Roosh, if they want to, I think that LFI and the Blackpool Combat Club, I think that those two factions would really, really, really have a nice feud going into 2024. So if Roosh wants to get his revenge on Jon Moxley, I would love to see Roosh and Jon Moxley in a match next month. And then afterwards, we go into a full-fledged BCC versus LFI. Can you imagine Dralistico, Roosh, and Preston Vance? Dralistico, Roosh, and Preston Vance versus Moxley, Bryan, and Claudio. That would be a hell of a match for Revolution. So that's something that I would go with. That's something that I would definitely go forward with. Jay Lethal, I really hope that they do something with Jay Lethal. I really hope that it's a revamp in a sense for Jay Lethal, because I really, really want to see Jay Lethal succeed. If you're not going to do anything with him on AEW TV, then just put him on Ring of Honor TV. Make some structure for fucking Ring of Honor TV. I mean, holy shit. Mark Briscoe and Jay White. Another very good match in the Continental Classic. Jay Briscoe was being hammered. All of a sudden, we had a froggy bow out of nowhere immediately, but Jay White ended up rolling out of the ring. Jay then with an exploder suplex right on top of the apron. Jay then came in with a DDT. Coming back from commercial, Mark Briscoe mounted a comeback with a big lariat and a diving elbow drop off the apron. Both men went up top. Jay got down. Briscoe put him back up top, and we got ourselves a powerbomb by Briscoe for a 2. We had a dragon screw by White, sleeper suplex, and a second one. Jay White was then caught with an exploder suplex by Briscoe. Briscoe then went for the froggy bow, but Jay White got the knees up. Jay White then with the Blade Runner, and Jay White gets the win. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to throw it out there. I think that Jay White is beating Jon Moxley. I say Jay White beats Jon Moxley and Swerve beats Roosh, and we have a 3-way tie. It's going to be 12, 12, and 12, and we're going to get ourselves a triple threat in the finals. That's the way that I would go. That's how I would play this out. And I hope that is what they're ultimately going to do. And then our main event. Swerve Strickland versus Jon Moxley. Gold League Continental Classic match. And these guys tore the house down right here. Crowd was chanting, holy shit, and the match didn't even begin yet. Very technical early on. We had a nice back and forth. DDT off the ropes by Swerve. Moxley then, he came in and hit Swerve with a cutter coming back from commercial. Very, very nicely done. After the cutter, Jon Moxley then sent Swerve into the steps. We had a gotch-style pile driver for a 2. Rolling flatliner by Swerve and a sheer drop brainbuster. Moxley then got up. Big boot. Moxley kicked out. House call by Swerve. Moxley then shoved Swerve to the floor. Ref counted. Swerve got back into the ring. Moxley then with a curb stomp. 1, 2. Swerve kicked out. Swerve then was caught in the rear naked choke. Moxley then transitioned into a cross arm breaker. Swerve was able to get to the ropes. Swerve then with a pescado and a BK. A big PK. Swerve then with a swerve stomp off of the apron while Jon Moxley was in the chair. Swerve then with a swerve stomp in the ring. I thought that was it. 1, 2. Jon Moxley kicked out. Jon Moxley was able to kick out. Jon Moxley then rolled up Swerve. His shoulder was up. But Jon Moxley still ended up getting the victory. Jon Moxley got the victory, and Jon Moxley earns himself 12 points. Now, I thought this was a great match, but if I was booking this, I probably would have given the win to Swerve Strickland. But there is still the potential of us doing a triple threat match in the finals for the Gold League. And we're ultimately going to get Swerve, Jay White, and Jon Moxley. And those 3 individuals will ultimately get the victory. And that's it. We're going to get a triple threat match. And Swerve wins then. We could very well see Swerve get the victory over Jon Moxley in that triple threat match. But that's how I'm booking this. Swerve's got to be in the finals. If Swerve isn't at least in the finals, even if he doesn't win the tournament, if he's not at least in the finals, I really don't know what we're doing here. Swerve should absolutely be in the finals. He needs to be in the finals. But this was a great match. I probably would have given the win to Swerve and just have him win definitively. But regardless, still a great match nonetheless, and a great professional wrestling show. So afterwards, we all thought that the show was over. We all thought that the show was over right then and there, but that was not the case. That was not the case, because we go to the back. We go to the back and we saw the Devil's Minions attacking Hangman Adam Page. The Devil's Minions were attacking Hangman Adam Page. The Devil then came out from a car. He came out from a car and he just nodded. He nodded, and we had two of the Devil's Minions deliver a choke slam to Adam Page on the windshield of the car, which looked brutal. And that was how Dynamite went off the air. So it's confirmed. Hangman Adam Page is not the Devil. I'm still going with Adam Cole. I am still going with Adam Cole just because of the simple fact that everything that has happened, especially all the little innuendos, Adam Cole, he's the guy that has been in everyone's mouths when it comes to being the Devil. I know a lot of people are going to say Jack Perry, and even though it makes sense for Jack Perry because of what MJF said to Jack Perry in the past, Jack Perry, he is not the right guy to institute in this Devil storyline. You know where Jack Perry should be instituted? Jack Perry should be paired with Christian Cage. Jack Perry should be paired with Christian Cage, and then we should get a 6-man tag team match with Christian Cage and Jurassic Express versus Adam Copeland and FTR. That's where Jack Perry should be. Jack Perry finally giving in to Christian Cage, that would be the best possible route for Jack Perry. Jack Perry, listen, it would make sense, but Jack Perry is not the best possible candidate for the Devil. It would not make, it really would not be in the best interest. It would feel flat. It would feel flat. Jack Perry, listen, Jack Perry is the future of AEW TV. Jack Perry's a future world champion. Anyone that denies that shouldn't be talking about pro wrestling. Jack Perry is absolutely one of, if not the future of AEW. AEW is very, very lucky to have a guy like Jack Perry. But there are certain roles that certain people are not meant for. Like Randy Orton. Randy Orton's a better heel than he is a babyface. Baron Corbin is not a babyface. Baron Corbin's a heel. The Miz is a heel. He's not a babyface. Toni Storm is actually a better babyface than she is a heel. There's certain people who are meant to be in certain roles and certain people who are not meant to be in certain roles. Jack Perry is not ready for that role yet. Jack Perry is not ready for that role. He should be with Christian Cage, and they should play up that story. Because if anything, I'm sure a lot of people would be intrigued if we see Christian Cage and Jurassic Express, a reunited heel Jurassic Express, versus FTR and Adam Copeland. That right there would really bring a spark to life in the trios division. So I'm going with Adam Cole. Adam Cole to me is the Devil. What are you talking about? Hologram, what the fuck are you talking? We have not seen FTR and Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage and Jurassic Express. We've never seen that. That would be a first-time ever matchup. Adam Copeland has been here for 3 months, and his entire 3 months, Jack Perry has been suspended because of what happened at All In. We've never seen that before. Fuck you talking about? Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Listen, I like you, dude. But I'm telling you, you got to go with what's best for the business here. Best for the business is Jack Perry when he gets back to TV, putting him with Christian Cage and Luchasaurus, making them a heel faction, building up the patriarchy as a heel faction, and we get ourselves a 6-man tag with FTR and Adam Copeland. Because right now, there's really nowhere that Jack Perry fits as a singles guy. Right now is not the right time to be Jack Perry, because there's just so many other singles guys that are in much better positions than Jack Perry. That's just how it goes. But regardless, I'm going with Adam Cole to be the devil. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's all I got for you. That's all I got for you. A nice packed edition of the Lightning Flash update. And be prepared, people, because tomorrow, me and Hoolagrim, we're going to be going live for the rewind for Ring of Honor Final Battle 2023. Hope you guys have had a wonderful time. Thank you. Thank you very, very, very much to Hoolagrim. Thank you very much to Dylan. Thank you very much to the Final Hoss and Lisa and Earl Cole and Billy, Raging Girl Gamer. You guys are great. Really, really appreciate each and every single one of you. You guys make being DJ Storms worthwhile. We got ourselves a couple more streams left throughout the year, and then we're going to head into 2024 all guns blazing. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all those links in the description. Rewind with Hoolagrim tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And then, of course, we got ourselves the rundown for World's End with my girl, Hannah. She's a very, very, very good supporter of mine, very good friend. Very, very happy to have her on my side. And then, of course, that's going to be on Thursday, December 28th. And then on New Year's Eve, people, New Year's Eve 2023 at 2 p.m., it is going to be the rewind for World's End with Mac, the Giants fan, and it's going to be good because everything's always good when it comes to DJ Storms. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I am DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update. But before we get out of here, got to make sure everyone knows and everyone is aware of this fact, especially the people over on Rumble. People, tell them all who runs the IWC. You can say it in the chat if you like. I'll say it right here for everyone so that way y'all know. I'll tell you who runs the IWC. That would be who? But DJ motherfucking Storms. And don't you ever, ever, ever forget it.
'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.